Hello and welcome to the Spirit Smith and Messages Shared. My name is Carrie Smith Blacker, the Spirit Smith, and tonight's guest on the show is actually my great aunt. Her name was Cicely, and sadly Cicely passed into the beyond when she was about 14 months old. When Cicely first came to me in meditation, I was unsure of who she was, but I was most certain that we actually had a connection, that we had a family connection. As I continued to put the call out for Spirit to join me on the show, I could see this shy little girl in Edwardian-style clothing, sort of peeking around the corner of my field of vision. And she wanted to step forward and she wanted to be able to talk to me. So I invited her to do so. She had sort of honey blonde hair and she appeared to be a little under 2 years old. And I actually then heard a shy little voice saying, "I'm with Gilbert." Well, I knew instantly who it was. This was my great aunt who had passed into the beyond when she was not even 2 years old. "Cicely?" I asked in my spirit communication, and she answered yes. Oh, Cicely was born in December of 1911, and she passed into the beyond in February of 1913. I also know that Gilbert, my great uncle, had passed at the age of about 2 months into the beyond. Gilbert was what we might term as a blue baby. He had a hole in his heart that could not be fixed in those days. Gilbert was born on September 30th, 1915, and he passed on November 27th, 1915. "Cicely," I asked, "do you want to be on the show?" She answered a resounding yes. So with that, the interview began. She proceeded to tell me she was healthy on the other side. In this life, I know my former grandfather's stories told me that she had passed from breathing problems. They actually wondered if it wasn't actually pneumonia, but she had that after having diphtheria, and she was almost recovered from the diphtheria, or so they thought. She wanted everyone to know that she is healthy in heaven, and that she is there now with all of her immediate family that was here with her on earth. She was annoyed that she had to wait so long for my Uncle Wilfred, my great Uncle Wilfred, to join her. He lived to be almost 101 years old in this world. I had to ask Cicely what it was like as a child to have to cross over to the other side alone. And she smiled and she said that she had not been alone. Then, of course, I had to ask for her to explain this to everyone. And she proceeded to tell me that an angel had been with her just before she passed into heaven, and that the angel stayed with her to help guide her through the light and safely into heaven. The angel told Cicely not to be afraid, and I asked Cicely if the angels always came to help children when they were on their way to heaven, and she said yes, and always. She then told me that that was her reason for actually wanting to be on the show. She wanted all the little ones out there and all of their parents to know that there is always an angel to help their children cross to the other side or to the beyond. That their souls go home, which is what she called it. She also wants everyone to know that God loves them, or if you prefer the term universe, the universe loves them. And no matter what faith they come from, or even if they have no faith at all, everyone goes home. I asked Cicely if she had anything else she wanted to share tonight, and she excitedly stated that she's coming back to Earth soon, into the family here on Earth. And she told me that I, as the Spirit Smith, I'm one of the last, or actually am the last generation here that will sort of remember that she was here, that she was part of the family. And so it's time now for her to come back. It's been over 100 years, and she's going to be a granddaughter 2 years from now. And she's also going to bring along with her, about 2 to 3 years after she's born, her twin brothers that passed away before they were born to my great-grandmother. They will be joining her here on Earth as her little twin brothers, as I said, about 2 to 3 years after she's born. I asked if this life would be longer for all of them than their lives were here on Earth the last time round, and she said, yes, absolutely, a long and happy life for all. And then she kept talking and saying the number 3, the number 3, and I'm not quite sure what she meant by that, but it's something that she stated quite firmly and repetitively. I decided to look up the number 3 on Google, and Google tells me that when the number 3 shows up in your life, it's an omen of positivity, creativity, communication, all kinds of wonderful things. So at the end of our conversation, I asked again if it was okay to share her story, and she again said, yes, please share. So I want to thank you, Cicely. It was so lovely getting to know you, and I want to thank you for your message to all the children and parents who need to hear that the angels take such good care, loving care of us, both in this world and into the next. Also, thank you all of us for joining us here tonight for the Spirit Smith and Messages Shared. Please, if you enjoyed this episode, remember to like, thumbs up, subscribe, or share our show so that Spirit and I can continue to bring you these amazing messages. Peace and happiness, everyone.